Most fitness influencers give weight loss advice, but their results seem pretty unattainable. No one really shows the journey. So in this video, I want to break down what I've been doing over the last 2 weeks in order to lose over 2 kilos. Because if I can share what I've been doing over the last 2 weeks to completely transform my mindset and the way that I feel, then you can join me on this journey. Over the last few years, I have lost 50 kilos. But in the last year, I have been a little bit complacent. But now I'm back on track and I want to document everything so that you can copy, join, and transform. I'm going to be breaking down what I've been doing into 4 different sections. One, I'm just going to share what inspired this change, because if I can share that story with you, then maybe you might feel inspired yourself. Number 2, I'm going to be sharing what I've been doing with my nutrition and my opinions of it so that you can decide what is best for you. Number 3, I'm going to be sharing what I've been doing with my training and activity. And number 4, and this is the most important one, I'm going to be sharing how I'm making it feel completely effortless so that I can stay consistent, not just for 2 weeks, but for 6 months. And that is when I'm going to really see the progress come through. So make sure to stick around for that, because if you can't sustain something for 6 months, probably got no chance. So what inspired the change? What I'm going to share with you next is the easiest way to become super motivated on your weight loss journey. In the last year, I started an online coaching business where I help people lose weight. I lost my job 18 months ago and I was going to interviews for the same type of job. I was a data scientist in London, and it didn't really feel like I was doing something that aligned with who I wanted to be. And so 3 months after getting fired, I went on a plane ride, I read a book, and I was inspired to start a business. But the stress of starting a business was actually way higher than I expected it to be. There's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of moments of self-doubt, and I actually turned to food for comfort, which is a little bit contradictory considering I was an online coach. But in the back of my head, I knew that I wasn't practicing completely what I preach, and it didn't feel good. And so a month ago, I decided to move to Bali, all on my own, in order to focus on 2 things: my business and my health. And 2 weeks ago, I went and did a mastermind with a bunch of absolute killers. One guy was earning 300k per month. That's 30 times what most people earn in the UK. Everyone was in really good shape. And so when I was there, honestly, it brought some feelings of insecurity to surface, where I looked around and I was like, damn, I need to take better care of myself. If I want to be a good coach, if I want to be a good human being, I need to start with taking care of myself and making sure my foundation is being looked after. My nutrition, my training, my activity, my sleep. Now, one of the guys at this mastermind was doing a challenge called 75 Hard. It's an incredible challenge where you do 2 workouts per day, you read 10 pages, you only eat clean meals, you don't have any cheat meals, and you don't drink any alcohol every single day for 75 days. And when we were chilling in the evening at the mastermind, we might be having dinner or we might just be having a chat in the pool. This guy would nip away and go and do his second workout of the day. And that was inspiring to see for me. And so the point I'm trying to make here is, if you want to make a change in your life, do everything that you can to find people that are a little bit ahead of you in their journey so that you can be inspired and motivated by them to actually go out there and make the change in your life. Because after seeing him doing that, I started doing 75 Hard. I'm 17 days in now, and this is the best I've felt in a year. And 2 weeks in, or 17 days in, I'm over 2 kilos down. My physique is looking way better than it was, and I can't wait to see how it's going to progress. And I'm feeling fitter than I've ever felt before. And so I thought I would share exactly what I'm doing with my training, my nutrition, and how I'm able to do it so effortlessly so that you can copy me or do something similar and get involved, so that in 5 months' time, it's not only me feeling transformed, but there's a group of us that are feeling transformed. How cool would that be? So there are 4 things that I'm doing with my nutrition that has helped me lose over 2 kilos in 2 weeks. Something I get asked about is intermittent fasting. I've been fasting every single day from 5:30 to 1 p.m. for the last 2 weeks. But I'll be honest, there isn't anything magical about it. I still track my calories when I'm eating to make sure I'm not overeating, but it helps me in 2 different ways. One, which is related to the calories aspect, which I'm going to cover in a minute. But what the first benefit is literally just about how I'm able to focus completely on my work, because when you eat food, right, energy is going to be consumed by your body in digesting that food. It requires energy to do that. That means that there's going to be less energy that is going to go to my brain. And so when I'm working in the morning, after I've done my first workout, I want to divert as much energy to my brain so I can completely focus on the task that I'm doing. And I feel like if I eat, then I'm just wasting energy on something that I don't really need at the time. And I won't be able to do my best work if I don't fast. That is a big reason for me for fasting. But the other thing is that when I do start eating, I like to feel full. I like to feel satisfied. Maybe it's just my genetics, I don't know. But I like to feel like I've had a good meal after eating. Because I've fasted, because I've shortened the eating window by 7 hours, so I'm only eating from 1 p.m. till, let's say, 7:30, so 6 hours. I can have 2 really big meals, even though my calories are reduced. And because of that, I feel more satisfied. Once I start eating, it doesn't feel like I'm really dieting. And also, I lift weights in the afternoon. And so those carbohydrates that I'm having in those 2 meals, so I might have some rice at lunch, some potato at dinner, they're all going to be used in the right way because I'm positioning them strategically around my workouts. But that being said, if you are just doing intermittent fasting and like it's not really working for you, then don't do it. But try it out at least. If you fast and you don't track calories and you end up eating more than your calorie target in the time that you're fasting, you're not going to lose weight. I think it's a really good tool to use, but it has to be used in conjunction with something like tracking calories, just so that you are actually staying in the deficit and you are losing weight. The next thing with my nutrition that I'm doing, this is something I wish I had figured out right at the start of my journey of losing weight 5 years ago. But it's honestly one of the best things that you can do with your diet. So back in October 2021, I had probably the most regimented period of dieting I've ever done in my life. So I would track calories religiously. I wouldn't eat my mum's food. I would eat my own food. I wouldn't even go out for dinner with my friends because I was too scared of eating above my calories. However, and this is a big however, one of the things that I used to do, I would plan to have this massive high protein bowl in the evening, okay? And this high protein bowl would be a protein pancake. It's by this brand called Nano Sups, and they would come with this like little chocolate filling. They were really tasty. And then I would have this Lindau's protein pudding. You can still get them now, and I would melt that. So it would become like a custard. So imagine a protein pancake, some custard, and then I would get these protein balls from My Protein. They're super nice and I'd put them on top. They taste like the Nesquik Ball cereal if you've ever had that. And so I'd have this massive bowl and then it would be like some berries and maybe some sugar-free syrup on top. And this would be after dinner just before I went to sleep. And although I was hitting my calories and protein, I don't think that having such a processed bowl was optimal for my diet based on how I feel currently. I'm gonna explain why this is the case in a minute. But before that, I just want to explain that like when you eat food, it is converted to energy. But in that process of converting food to energy, there's billions of things that actually go on and it's way more complicated than just food and energy, right? And so just from an intuitive standpoint, I genuinely think that eating processed foods is not as optimal as eating whole food ingredients, because the whole food ingredients, but I must say that I still did lose weight when I was eating this processed shit. However, the one thing that I can say for definite is that I feel way more satisfied just eating things like eggs, meat, chicken, beef, vegetables, fruits. And I don't even have a craving for the ultra processed foods anymore. Whereas there's these protein bars that I have in the UK, right? And they're called Fit and Fresh bars. And they're really nice. But whenever I have them in the morning at home, I always just want more. And I don't know if it's because it's like made out of protein powder and it's got a sweetener in there and it has this dopaminergic effect where it peaks my dopamine and then I want to have more of it because my reward centers are getting activated so much. But when I have whole foods, like if I have eggs on toast for breakfast, I just feel satisfied. And so this is why I think that having a whole foods based diet mostly is so powerful when it comes to fat loss, because it really does diminish the amount of cravings that you have and the feeling of being satiated. The next thing is the biggest hack that you can make to your diet for fat loss: to eat your body weight in kg in protein twice per day. Make it a non-negotiable. I don't care if you're vegan, I don't care if you're vegetarian, I don't care if you have other dietary requirements. I'm gonna explain why in a second. The only reason why you shouldn't have that much protein a day is if your doctors have said that it's bad for you. But for most people, it's fine to have that. And so just do it. I'll explain why in a second. But there are things that you do in your life that you don't really want to do, but you just do it anyway. For example, you put your bins out, you brush your teeth, you go for a shower, you wash your sheets sometimes, you drink water, you clean the table. Now these are things that are not exactly fun, but they're just things that you do because you know that if you do them, it allows you to live. To that list, I just want you to add, eat body weight in kg times 2 in protein, because it's gonna fill you up, it's gonna burn more calories to digest, and it helps you recover from your workouts better. It's gonna allow you to build more muscle. And so there's so many bloody benefits to eating protein, and especially in the Indian industry, I don't get why we don't get it into our heads that it's just something that you got to make a non-negotiable. Think about it as just in the morning when you take your vitamins, just take your protein. It's not that difficult. And the next one is super important for fat loss and getting into better shape. And if you want to lose weight and become healthy, I honestly believe that alcohol is the worst thing that you can do. Think about it, right? Like all week you've put in the hard yards, you've gone through the effort of lifting weights, doing your steps, walking, and then on a Friday night, you go out to the pub and you have a few beers and you have the extra calories from that. You might get some chips because beers and chips go together quite well. The next day you feel hungover, so you order some shit food, and then because of that, you don't go for your steps that day, and next thing you know, you've thrown your deficit in the bin, and all that work that you've done throughout the week, you've thrown in the bin. Weekends still count, and I just think that if you're on this journey of trying to get healthy, just quit alcohol. The only time that I really see a benefit to it is special occasions, and even then, sometimes I have it and I'm just like, did I really need it? Probably not. I think when you have the option of having a drink, there's one thing that you can do to make it a lot easier to refrain from having the drink, and I think that is literally just thinking about the emotions that you're going to feel the next day when you have said no to drinking and you're like, oh yeah, like I feel good. Trying to bring that to the present. And if you can imagine that feeling and feel the emotions, then it's going to be super motivating to take the action that aligns with that, because you're like, oh, like I want to feel that. And you're like feeling that success. It's like that winning feeling. So if you struggle with drinking, and you struggle with not being able to say no at parties and stuff, try to think about that when you make the decision to drink, or when you're in that situation to drink, and it'll help a lot. All right, so that's nutrition covered. The next thing I'm gonna share is training. So in the 75 Hard Challenge, you have to do 2 workouts per day. 1 outdoor, 1 indoor. I tend to do 1 cardio based and 1 lifting based. That might seem like a lot, but I'm going to share in the last point of this video of how I actually make it effortless for myself. But what I do at the moment is I'll get my first outdoor workout done in the morning, first thing, cardio, and I'll do something along the lines of 5 minutes on the ski erg, then 5 minutes on the rower, 5 minutes on the treadmill, 5 minutes on the bike, and I'll just rotate through these machines. It's pretty cool gym, to be fair. Like, they have the equipment there, so it makes it a lot easier. If you're doing it in a colder country, I'd probably just go for a run, or if I didn't have access to an outdoor gym area, I'd probably just go for a 45-minute run or a light jog, maybe even a walk. I don't know if that's allowed, but I like to do something where it is really getting my heart rate up, burns good few calories, and something like ski erg, something like rower, like it doesn't feel too impactful on my joints, so I feel like I can recover really quickly. The reason why I do that workout, the outdoor workout, first thing in the morning, which is a point for any of you that are struggling with getting to the gym or doing your workouts, is because it's like eating the frog. It's probably the thing in the day that I enjoy the least in terms of like just sitting there. Like, I'm working hard and some days it's a bit more enjoyable, but it's probably the thing I enjoy the least. And so just getting it done first thing just sets me up for the day. It's a big win first thing, and the rest of the day just feels a lot easier just because I've got to the gym, I've not really looked at my phone, focused in on that exercise, and I've just got it done. And I always say that if you're struggling with the gym, go first thing in the morning and just stop negotiating with your brain. But this is one of the beauties of doing something like 75 Hard. And if you're struggling with getting to the gym, or you're just feeling stuck in life, take on a challenge. Now, you don't have to do something like 75 Hard, maybe that's extreme, but I know there's 75 medium or 75 soft, where it's just a little bit of an easier version. But the point here is take something on that is going to push you, that you're accountable to, because often when we want to build new habits, there is going to be a voice that comes up in our heads that says to us, oh, don't go and do the workout. Don't go and do the training, don't go and do this, don't go and do that. And having the accountability, and I've slapped it all over social media, like it's all on my Instagram. If I fail now, it's going to be pretty embarrassing. And if you have something like that keeping you accountable, you're going to be way more likely to actually keep the commitments to yourself. And because of that, you build the evidence in your brain that you're someone that shows up. And after the 75 days, I'm going to be a far different person to what I was 14 days ago, and to what I am right now, because I'm just gonna build up this undeniable stack of evidence that I am someone that shows up. So yeah, that's why I did that first workout in the day. Before I was working out quite a lot, to be fair. Sometimes I would do 2 workouts, but now it's literally every single day for the last 17 days. And even now I feel like an absolute killer, I'll be honest. And then in the afternoon, I'll do my second workout. This is where I lift weights and I'll rotate through push, pull, legs, arms. So push, pull, legs are like quite intense sessions, and then arms is like the rest day, because lifting every day isn't actually optimal. Like, it is better to allow your muscles to rest, but I just feel like if I train arms, it feels like a rest day. And then finally, what I'm doing to continue to lose this weight, obviously that's what this video is about, is I'm walking 8,000 steps per day, minimum. Now, I could do more. However, because I'm doing so much cardio, I don't feel like I need to get the rate of progress that I want. If you're doing less cardio and you're not getting the rate of progress that you want, then do more steps. 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, even 15,000. If you can get it done, it's gonna allow you to lose weight, and steps are great for burning calories without impacting your joints, impacting your muscles, impacting your recovery. And so you can do loads and loads and loads and loads of steps. There's no really real upper limit, and burn calories without it impacting the rest of your gains. And so you can make faster and faster progress through that medium. And this is the final part of the video, is how am I making it effortless? And this is a big key to success on your weight loss journey. But if you can make it feel effortless, if you can make it feel really easy for yourself to just get your workouts in, eat well, then you're going to be able to stay consistent for way longer. You're going to be able to make this super sustainable. One thing that I do is I do the same thing every single day. I wake up at the exact same time, I go to sleep at the exact same time, I eat the same foods, I go to the same gym, and what that means is that I'm saving so much mental energy by not having to look for the bloody locker at the gym, because I know I go to the same one. I'm not like wasting mental energy like thinking about what to eat. I'm not wasting mental energy about like little things that don't matter. I'm literally like a robot. Like, I will wake up, I know that I need to drink, I need to brush my teeth, I need to take a progress photo, then I need to go outside, I need to have my creatine and my water, I need to come back, get my bag, go to the bike, drive to the gym. And all of that is systemized now. I'm so automated. Like, I'm just in this flow state where I'm just going through the motions until I sit down to work. And then when I sit down to work, I'm fully focused on that. And that's when all my mental energy is being saved for those 4 or 5 hours where I really need to use my brain to help my clients make more progress, create good content, whatever it is. All of my mental energy is saved for that. And then when it's late at night and I'm getting cravings and maybe I want a dessert, I have the mental ability to say no. I'm just going to default to what I already have. If you're on a weight loss journey, if you want to make it easy for yourself, then you have to do the same thing every single day. 2, I optimize my phone usage with 3 hacks. So the fundamental principle is this idea that our phones and our apps are designed to keep us on there, all right? If you look at social media, data scientists are paid millions of pounds to literally just growth hack and keep us addicted to our phones. And so we are fighting an uphill battle. That is a known fact. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter. When we get a peak in dopamine, we feel this sense of pleasure, and the activities that induce this sense of pleasure make us come back for more. And so when we have a chocolate, we get this sense of pleasure, we're like, oh, I want some more. When we go on social media, look at the story, get a like, sense of pleasure, want some more. And because we're getting these peaks in dopamine from our phones, but they're not natural, they're artificial. These big peaks are then followed by crashes, and as a result of that, we feel unmotivated after scrolling on Instagram for a while, and that stops us from enjoying real life and doing these hard things because we don't have enough dopamine to feel motivated. Our psychology is literally just our biology. And it's so stupid that people wake up in the morning and they go onto their phone, and I used to do this at one point in my life as well, and they'll just scroll on Instagram or they'll look at stories, and you're like, are you trying to make your life shitter? Like, literally, are you trying to make your life shitter? And just wake up to that. Wake up to what these guys are trying to do. They're trying to make money, because the more that people stay on the platforms, the more advertising revenue they get, and that is their only goal. And so they don't give a shit about your attention. And so you have to claw back your attention by putting in boundaries with your phone usage. And so there are 3 things that I do. One is I put my phone on grayscale at night. The reason why I do this is that when you look at your phone on grayscale, it just isn't that appealing. And so it's so much easier to turn it off. Number two, I turn off all notifications. Now I'll explain like how this helps me in a second, but if you think about notifications, it's someone else buzzing your phone and interrupting you at any time of the day. And if you were sitting in your room, maybe doing some work, and someone just bolted into your room, you'd be like, what the fuck, bruv? Why are they doing that? And having a notification on your phone is literally like that. And so turning off all the notifications is like putting a do not disturb sign on your door, and people can knock when they want to come in. And I think when you do that, it just means that you are putting a boundary around your own mental space, and it means that you can decide when you get interrupted. So you can go onto the app to get the notification. And so what I do is actually schedule in times in my diary, in my calendar, when I'm gonna look at my phone and when I'm gonna respond to messages, and I just do it in bulk. I'm in that mindset, okay, I wanna respond to all these messages, and because of that, I just spend way less time on my phone. I don't get these massive dopamine peaks. And because of that, I feel motivated to do my workouts, and it just feels effortless. And finally, I just don't look at my phone for the first 6, 7, 8 hours of the day. I don't really need to check my emails, don't really need to check my messages. I just do my workouts, do the most important tasks for the day, and then after that, I can have a bit of phone time, a bit of fun, a bit of dopamine, but only after I've done the work. And I feel super motivated to do the work, it feels effortless. If you want to lose 2 kilos or over 2 kilos in 2 weeks, then I hope this was helpful for you. Check out the video linked here because YouTube thinks that you might like it. And remember, become the person that you want to be. Peace.